Hey, this is Craig with Terror Isle, and I was going to take you behind the build and show you some of the new projects we're doing. On this particular one, we're redoing the front of the building, and you can see that I've ripped all the shutters off the top. The paint's getting kind of faded, so we needed to kind of spice it up. I took the shutters down below and added gold dry brushing on it to make it pop. You can see how the difference is on the color now. It really looks great from the street. Then I went red around it to give it just a different flavor than before, and then did some aging to it after that. Then on the inner squares by the doors, I took these old spikes off the gel cells from last haunt season and mounted them on the top of these squares. Just gives it a little bit of a cool spiked look. They're up real high where people can't grab them, and that's blood on them if you can't tell. And then I went around the purple edges and dry brushed them gold. So that's the spikes, and then we added in the gold edge paint on there, which is basically just a gold leaf paint, and then you go after it with a dry brush of black to give it some flavor. And then I blacked out the center parts because I had these banners I wanted to put in there. I want to look like gel cells there. So that's what it looks like from a distance downstairs. And then I got on AI and made these prison cell scenes and had them printed on vinyl banners and patched them onto the wall there with screws and washers so they don't blow off. These things hold up in the sun really well. So you can see on the right, I added all the wood panel painting. That's all just brushed lines. I used a laser level to create the lines, and I just painted them, and I used wet rags with paint on them and just rubbed them on there. So now you can look at the bottom how much more it pops than compared to the top. Then I added PVC pipe, dry brushed gold prison bars on it, so it just gives it a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. It came out awesome. I might do some crossbars across it just to add some more flavor. And then at the top you can see I went with a horizontal wood panel look, which came out really cool. Now I'm gonna build the cannons. So the cannons are 4-inch pipe with these 4-inch couplings. And these are way too long because I didn't know how long to make them, because you got a good ratio you have to have. I couldn't find pipes bigger than that, so I spray painted them with this metallic outdoor lawn furniture paint. But then I had to go get more, and guess what? The same color's actually black now and not that grayer look, so I had to repaint them all. I took these 2x2 boards, painted red borders around them. These are going to be where the cannons are coming out of the ship. I repurposed these 2x2s off of the old prison cell because they were already painted all nice and great, and then I started just dry brushing and aging all these hinges and all the hardware. These little details are what make it pop. So I got all these little decorative items from Lowe's and hit them with black, and then dry brush gold over them, and you'll see what I do with them next. Got these skulls custom made by a guy named Joe, and I wanted to have some really cool skulls up top. So did the same thing, not rocket science. You paint it black. This is heavy, dense foam, so it's not squishy, it's very rigid, and then do the dry gold over it. So there's all the pieces, so I'm gonna put them together, and I have 4 of these. This is the top hatch that lifts up where the cannon's below. So that's the end piece there. You add the hinge brackets at the bottom. That's a final piece where I went around the gold and dry brushed some black on it. Give it a look. And this is the cannon spot. So the critical thing is I take these wood circles and I mount them to the thing, and that's how I screw to the side of these pipes to connect them to the wood. Otherwise there'd be no way to connect them, so it looks like it's coming out of the hole. I cut these much shorter than what you saw in the early picture. So that's the finished product. And I put a little bit of wood up top to give it a little lean. So this is where I started mounting them up top. And you can't really see from here, but there's LED lights put in the end of the cannons, which I'm going to wire these to explode with speakers and lights. So there's 2 on that side, and then I'm doing 2 on the other side. there's the finished product. Total new redo of the building. The cannons probably took the longest, but the next video on this, I'll show you where I've got this thing all fired up. I've added a bunch of new lights and the cannons will go off. So stay tuned for the next video.